uh, write better.
Sure.
Yes. Any other queries you have with regard to exams? So hopefully all of you have paid the fees and all that. Any difficulty in that part of it? No, right?
No, no.
So most of you are doing group one, or
Yeah,
anyone doing groups?
I think a few members are doing in a group at a time, both
Yeah.
modules also.
Both groups at a time. So for those of you who are doing both the groups at a time, one piece of advice, don't do one paper in group one and one paper in group two. Don't study like that. You will not do it. So first study whichever group you are fine with, means whichever group you find it to be easy for you. Okay, do that first, finish it, and then start the other group, because even your scores, whatever you get, they are not going to give if you have done extremely well in two papers and not so great in two papers. You will end up repeating. So don't get into this thing, and you have to write all the four papers, only then you will get your results. So whatever may be your state after one paper goes not so well, don't sit at home. Don't feel that I will not write the other papers. There may be a miracle, you may clear it, and then if you had not gone for the exam, you may feel that, oh, if I had gone, I would have cleared off the group. Okay, so whatever may be the thing, be bold, be confident about yourself, write all the four papers in that module. Okay, don't leave it. Only then you'll get your results also. Even if you want exemptions also, you should have written all the four papers and should have scored minimum of at least 20 marks in each, or 10 marks in each paper to have getting the exemption in one paper.
So exemption means at least in out of all the four papers, at least in one paper we need to score about at least 60 plus, right?
60 plus. Only if you have written all the four and you have scored at least 10 marks or 15 marks in all the four papers, all the three papers, you will get exemption in the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
So it
That
means
only then.
combining the three papers mark, one paper we will be given exemption, whichever you take, and the remaining papers has to be.
No, 60 and above only exemption.
Yeah.
I'll give you one. We had a real case last 2 years back. This person had written four papers. He got 60 in one, and 25, I think, he got in one paper, and 10 in other paper. Two papers he had cleared. So he ended up getting exemption in company law only. Okay, the other three papers he had to write. So next time when he wrote, he managed to pass two papers, but one paper he had got 15. He didn't, and one paper he had got 60. Other paper he had got some 50, and one more paper he had got some 10 or something like that. They didn't give him the exemption that time because it was less than 50.
So the exemption paper is decided by the chapter.
Exemption 60 and above you get. The condition is you should have scored minimum in the rest of the papers, 10, 15,
Okay.
1, 5.
Okay. Then
And you have to claim the exemption. They'll not give, just because you have scored 60, they'll not say, okay, don't write the paper.
no.
You have to say that I want exemption, because exemption, again, it depends. People think that exemption means I'll have one paper less to study. Just see if that exempted, that's a very good thing, to have one thing less to do it. But the remaining papers, you should score 50 and 40. That is there. So for the three papers, they'll not count the 60 at all next time.
The only thing is once if we are there, basically if any paper we have doubt, basically to work on every subject we have to work on. It's the only thing is
Yes, correct, correct,
we need to
correct.
pull in one that 60 plus in case if we are having doubt to get that exemption, we make sure that we have to get into that zone that where we can be able to request for that exemption for one paper.
You have to just apply when you're writing the thing. They have that any exemption sought for.
Yeah.
So if you want to take it, you can take it. What happens is some of them, like for example, you are a lawyer and you have got 90% in jurisprudence. For you, you didn't even study for that paper. You have got that much. Okay. And tax is not your great paper. In tax, you're not able to score, you have scored 35 or something like that. So at such times, what happens, this exemption, if you take, it may dip your other papers. Okay, means, for example, I can just score 40, 40, 40, and I get a 90 in this, I pass the group. Yes. So at such times, what happened, some of them don't take exemption. So that's why exemption is not automatic. It has to be asked for. Okay. Yes. Now this part B is an interesting part. Lot of enactments, almost about 150 enactments plus are there in part B. Part B is for 35 marks. So we have done 25 marks. We are doing 35 marks now. So here, how should you do part B? In part B, so there are certain important topics and repeated topics again. So we will be looking at all the important things relating to starting a company, running a company, what are all the acts which are required, which are applicable, to whom is it applicable, and to what extent it is applicable, and important aspects relating to that particular act. Okay, so here we are coming to the first part of it, that is chapter 13. We are looking at initial registrations. When I start a company or incorporate a company, what are all the registrations which will be applicable to a new company, and how to apply for it, and what is the time period within which I will get that registration, and what are the documents which I will have to submit to get the registration. For example, if I say you require a PAN card, from our point of view, what are the things that we require for a PAN card?
Photo.
Your PAN card. You have applied for a PAN card. So what are the things what you will require? You require an address proof, you require an ID proof, and your photographs. So for address proof, what are the documents you can give? Aadhaar card, I think they don't take it as address proof, do they?
Yes, ma'am.
Electricity bill.
Electricity bill, provided your name is there in the electricity bill, right? DL, yes, DL. So you have your driving license. It can be taken as an address proof. It can also be taken as an ID proof. If photo is there, it is ID proof. If the address is there, it is the address proof. Telephone bill can be taken only if your name is there. If your father's name or brother's name is there, you cannot give it as address proof. They'll ask, whose is this? Okay, because there is no photo also in that. There should be some proof that it is you also are there in that house. Okay, so that is why we require to remember that I can give a telephone bill, provided my name is there. I can give what you said, Aadhaar. Aadhaar, our name is there, but many places they don't accept Aadhaar as address proof, including for application of DIN. Okay, so again, mobile bill. Because your name will be there in that, mobile one will be taken as proof. And when you are giving this, these are called utility bills, like mobile, gas connection, and electricity bills are called as utility bills. They should not be more than 2 months old. They should not be older than 2 months from the date on which you are applying. So each registration, each card or whatever is there will have certain rules and regulations. But when we talk about address proof and we talk about ID proof, these are the general rules related to this documentation. So the same way here we are going to study different registrations which are required. What are the documents which are going to be there, and what are the rules and regulations relating to these registrations. Many of you might have already got these registrations in some form, and today we are just going to go through those things with regard to the companies what we are studying. Now, what are the things what we will be taking? Initial registrations, to what extent, what are the different ones we are going to take? We will be looking into. We are taking it in terms of MSME. If I am a small, medium enterprise, what are the registrations which I will have to take? If I am a startup, what are the rules and regulations and what are the registrations which are applicable to me? How to get a PAN number and a TAN number. TAN number is tax deduction account number. So how to get the TAN number, how to get the PAN number. So these are the licenses which are required for me to do it. What is the process for getting those registrations? What are the rules and regulations applicable for the registrations? Now coming to the different kinds of registrations which are there. What are the mandatory registrations which are required for a company? So whatever may be the type of company, we have one thing called as GST, we have one thing called as PAN, we have one thing called as TAN. So these three registrations are mandatory. Apart from that, you have the ESI, PF, all those things, whichever may be the type of company, whether I am a food manufacturing company, whether I am an IT company, or whether I am a manufacturing company, whatever may be the type of company, these are those general forms. So we can categorize any kind of registrations into two categories. One is general, one is specific. So if I am a food company, so if I'm a food manufacturing company, all the things related to food licenses will be applicable to me. If I'm an IT company, there are certain registrations required for an IT company, which is applicable to me. Apart from these specific ones, there are general ones, which is applicable to all types of companies. So two categories, what we are taking into consideration. Then the next one is with regard to registration under shops and establishments. So what are all the organizations which require to be registered under shops and establishment? Then additional registration with regard to ESI and PF. Earlier, this used to be a separate one. Even now, we have a separate one, but we use it at the time of incorporation of a company in the single form, what is called as the SPICE Plus. So we use that form to fill in this, get this registration. Then you have the FCRA registration, foreign registration for all those companies which are having import-export business. Then you have the import-export code, pollution control for all the chemical industries or chemical thing, drug license for all those involved in cosmetics and drugs, what we have. FSSAI is the one which is involved under your foreign, in your food and safety. This license, this clearance from this FSSAI is required. You can check out for all those, like you have those wow momos, or even packaging, what you get in terms of frozen food and all what you will be getting. You can see that FSSAI sanction or FSSAI license. So you can see those words also mentioned there. Then IPR registrations, intellectual property registrations for all those organizations which are into 3 or 4. Right now we have 4 different kinds of IPRs. One is the design, one is the one is your design, one is your other one in form of yes, please.
Design, trademark.
Design, trademark, then 2 more.
Patent.
Patent, 1 more. What you write?
Copyright.
Copyright, yeah. 4 of them are there. So you may be any kind of those which are giving that kind of an setup. So for all the publishers, copyright is important. For all those who are into selling or anything, trademark is important. For all those who are into like jewelry, clothes, and all designers, design is important for them. And patent for all those inventions involved in scientific work, for them the inventions become important. So that one. Then MSME registration is a general registration. IPR also is a general registration. Then this one you have, if you are a small organization, you'd go in with what is called as Udyam. Okay, Udyam registration. So that is one thing which is going to be protecting the rights of a smaller setup. We are going to look into it. If you're an insurance setup, you will go with IRDA. So these are the major ones what we are going to look at to it. So what you can do is for your chart, just make it into 4 columns. So the first column, which are all the acts through which you will require the registration. So if CRA, what is the name of the license or what is required? Who should be getting the license, third column, and what is the time frame of the active licensing? Means till what time is the license valid, if it is permanent or 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, that way, and any other remarks, what you need to remember. So this entire chapter can come in one sheet. Okay, so I'll repeat the columns again, 4 columns or maybe 5 columns. The first column will be the acts or the registrations which are going to be required. Second column, what are the companies for whom this registration is applicable, companies applicability basically. Okay, then the third column, the duration, the time frame within which the registration has to be sought for. Okay, within what time that registration has to be taken. Then the fourth column, validity of the registration, whether it is for a specific period, remarks, any other points that you need to remember with regard to each one of the registrations. So these 5 columns, you can keep it, and then as and how we are doing the chapter, you can make a rough thing, and then we will go ahead with and then you can keep filling in what is there. Now, coming to the different talks, what we are having. So if whoever has done CSEET, they will remember that we had a chapter where we were doing the DBR, that is World Bank report, ease of doing business, which was given by World Bank for 190 countries. A report card was given on 10 parameters. Do you remember, whoever has done CSEET? In chapter 7 of EBE, there was this World Bank index, what was there, which was given for India was ranked 77th, then it jumped to 63rd position. And before that, it kept jumping positions on 10 parameters. And one of the parameters was starting a business. Okay, ease of doing business. What was the thing? I think for those of you, if you had attended the sessions, even the thing I had shared also. So any of you remember, any of you from CSEET? No? No one from CSEET? No.
After post-graduation.
Okay.
No, I'm from CSWT, but I don't remember that.
7th chapter, we had that statistics of which country was in what form. There were some 10 parameters. Anyway, so this was like a report card what was given by the World Bank, comparing with 190 countries, and the rank what was given to India in year 2020. The report came for the year 2019. India was ranked 63. Now they have stopped this ranking because we always claimed, right? Many countries said that the ranking was biased. They were not given fair ranking. They were other countries which they were partial to and all those things. So anyway, right now they have stopped it. So when they start again, let us see how it is. The last rank when they were giving it, India was ranked 63rd overall, but we were not so great when it came to beginning a business, starting a new business. We were still ranked below 100, means in the sense above 100, sorry. We were 130 or 128, something like that. So it was, means out of 190 countries, we are 130 something. So we were not so greatly positioned with regard to our starting of business. But other places, there were certain things where we had good ranking, because of which we were positioned at 63. Now, there are different types of business entities. What is there? We will be doing this 2 times in part A. You have proprietorship, and which is the law which is required to be there. So when you compare the different forms of organization, like you have the sole proprietor, then you have the HUF, then you have the partnership act, then you also have the OPC, then you have the LLP, then you have company form of organizations, AOP, that is association of persons, body of individuals. So many forms of organizations which we had also studied in part A, chapter 1, chapter 2. So we saw that a most important advantage for a proprietorship is less number of compliances. There is not much of regulatory mechanisms which are there for a sole proprietor. So here, sole proprietor, not much registration is required, not many laws are applicable, etc. So coming to the next one, the partnership. So it has to be registered under the Partnership Act, but it is not compulsory. If you are not registered, you will not be getting certain advantages. You may have to be careful, but you can work without getting registered. But if it is a company, you are required to be registered under the Companies Act. So whether you're a public company, private company, or a OPC, or even an LLP, or a OPC, any of it, you will have to be registered under the Companies Act. And if you are an LLP, you have to be registered under the LLP Act of 2008. So for all these four, that is private, public, LLP, and one-person company, registration is mandatory. Otherwise, you are not going to be getting your getting your registration. You cannot work without getting registered. So what are the mandatory registrations which are required to be registered under the Companies Act of 2013? Or whether it is LLP or Companies Act. So for that, what are the things which are going to be taken into consideration? Now coming to the PAN. PAN, similar one, because we look at a company form of organization as an artificial person. So when I and you as a natural person can have a PAN number, artificial person can also have a PAN number. It is an identity. So PAN basically is your permanent account number. It is a number given by the income tax authorities in order to regulate and in order to find out who is paying the tax and who is not paying the tax. Unlike in the Companies Act, where only company is given that jurisdiction of artificial entity, in the income tax will be treated as a entity who will be paying tax. So the definition of person includes your sole proprietor, the person, and the setup organization are one and the same. Except that sole proprietor, where both of them are the same, the person who is running the business as well as the business are one and the same. Every other setup is a person. Partnership is a person, trust is a person, society is a person, then AOP, association of persons, is a person, India, body of individuals is a person. So each one of them will have a PAN number. Okay, so in this PAN number, if you look, any of you have got your PAN number with you right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you look into your PAN number, we will just identify the PAN number. You will have something like this. You have first 5 alphabets, then 3 numbers or 4 numbers, and then last alphabet. Okay, so if you look at it, it is a 10-character alphanumeric number consisting of letters and digits. So first 5 of them are alphabets, then you have numbers, and then last 4 numbers, and then the last one is an alphabet again. So it is on a laminated plastic card which is given. Now, if you look into your PAN number, the 4th alphabet, okay, the 4th alphabet will talk what you are. Okay, so for individuals, they will give the alphabet P. Does it have? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you are a partnership firm, if you see any PAN number, you should be able to identify the nature of business of that particular setup. Okay, particular PAN number. So the fourth alphabet will give you an idea as to who are they. Now, P is for individuals, that is persons. If it is a company like Infosys or anything, you will see that the fourth letter will be a C. That's C for company. If it is a partnership firm, it will be an F. If it is a trust, it will be a T. Okay. So this will give you a clue as to what they are.
Even if
This
it is
is why
private limited company, it will still be C, right,
C,
ma'am?
C, company, any form, OPC, whatever it is, it will be a C. Okay. Then firm, that is partnership firm, LLP, both of that, they'll give an F into it. Okay. So you will get F. T is for trust. Cooperative societies, I think they give an S society. I think so. I'll have to check that society part of it. So this will give you an identity. The fourth alphabet will tell you what the company's thing is all about. So this PAN number is extremely important, and it's one of the major requirements. If you don't have the PAN number, you don't pay the tax, and if you don't pay that, if you don't have the PAN number, majority of the things in this country can't happen. So that is why PAN number is very crucial. So what are the things which are required for the utility of a PAN number? It is going to help you in identifying the income taxpayer. It enables to link all the transactions to the PAN, to the tax department, and it helps you in retrieval of the documents, etc., in terms if you are at the bank or anywhere. And it is identity purposes. It is for lots of transactions. So especially for those which are more than 1 lakh per transaction, if there is any kind of a thing which is with the stock exchange, PAN number is required. For investments of any kind or immovable property sale or purchase, more than 10 lakh of stamp valuation, PAN number is required. And any other thing what we have, we require the PAN number. Total income, if it exceeds minimum, will not be chargeable to tax if you have the PAN number. You have, if you're a charitable trust, you need to furnish the return, you require the PAN number. Then any person having a gross receipts exceeding 5 lakhs will require a PAN number. So you will be using this PAN as a mandatory thing for quoting in many of the setups. Like even if the first thing, if you want to link your phone number with Aadhaar, they'll ask you your PAN number. Okay, PAN card is what they have. And if you are a non-individual resident person, then also any transaction more than 2,50,000, you require the PAN number. This, what is, when you have so much of a significance for the PAN number, we need to be extremely careful. This is a tip what I'm giving it to you, simple tip. Otherwise, not in from the point of view of exams, in practical thing, what you will do. Because PAN is extremely important. It is, there is a lot of chances that your PAN number may be misused by unscrupulous people. So whenever you are giving a copy of, avoid giving the copy of a PAN card. Now, okay, of late, we have come with many instances where people are using somebody else's PAN number because PAN and Aadhaar, the photos are so bad. Agree with this? You are not you in those photos, right? So there is many chances that that photo may be blurred and they may use that particular card to do certain transactions which will be illegal or whatever it is. So your PAN should not be misused. So avoid giving your PAN card Xerox copies in case it is inevitable. It is mandatory that you need to give your PAN card copy. Please sign the copy, PAN card copy, with the date and also the purpose why you are giving the PAN copy. Okay, so make sure that you're doing it. Don't just give the copies anywhere. Be very, very careful. Especially, I remember talking to you about these companies which were incorporated having Chinese links, and many of the company secretaries were also arrested, and because they had some Chinese links. This happened just about 3-4 months back.
Ma'am,
Yes.
means the Chinese company, they have not yet paid the income tax to the government of India. Means they
No,
were
it was not about tax. No, no, not about tax. What happened was their funding was coming from somewhere outside India. That was from
Yes.
China.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and this funding was again because many of these companies, Chinese, what they are doing is, we know how plastic, how their products are, right?
Yes.
So they wanted to
Means not having the quality actually.
quality actually. So they wanted to control all these industries in the world. So they were routing it through Indians. They were routing Pakistan is already their friend. So that way it was, and also all these currencies from Pakistan, all those duplicate currencies and all those things. They were doing a lot of such activity. They wanted to just make sure that Indian economy crashes, so that they are able to overthrow the power in India. That was their intention. So and also Zoom, if you remember, we don't use Zoom right now.
Yes.
But it was a very popular system when Zoom came in. It was one of the most popular one, so including
Now
our
the-
government.
Ma'am,
Huh.
now Central Home Department has given warning that don't use that this terrorists are using actually like that.
No, why they didn't permit Zoom was earlier everybody was using, including our cabinet and ministry and all. Zoom network was very popular.
Yes,
So when, as we know, Zoom network, there are three places. One place where the Zoom actually happens, the meeting place. Like we are all sitting in the Google one, Google Meet. So this, if I look into it, my laptop is looking as a hub. Okay, so your laptop, you may be looking at all of us. For you, it is the hub. So like that, there is a central place where the recording happens, and then there is a network which is flowing from that central place where recording is happening to all of you, each one of us.
Yes.
Okay, like okay, and then it is coming back to it. So this recording, what was happening was not actually, you must have that security there. So
Yes.
this recording and all where it was happening was in Indian Cabinet Office or the PMO, Prime Minister's Office, and then it would be transmitted to a place in China because the control was there, and then it would come back. Okay, so that connect was not secured. So whatever you did, whatever they did, any kind of security they inserted, whatever it was still going to that place and coming back. So the vulnerability, you can imagine, whatever you're doing in the PM office is going straight to your other country. Okay, and this was purposely done
Okay.
because at that time when COVID happened, Zoom was the only thing which was happening.
Yes.
So the very fact that all the things were going back and coming, so we found it very vulnerable. India banned Zoom for that reason.
Yes.
Now they are coming back. Means if you're having all this kind of sessions and all, that's fine. But anything public, private, so we should not be doing it. That was the reason why that was Zoom was not. Then US, they encrypted and they started using that Cisco WebEx. That was a US based company. So there were many things that came up there. So, yes, Siddharth.
According to video conferencing, and the one that we are using is the most secure one is Cisco, because they have
Correct.
world's one of the strongest encryption they have.
Correct. So anybody could encrypt it at that point of that place itself. So I didn't have to send it somewhere and bring it. But again, Cisco started off very well. They started hiking their prices and all. It became very expensive. So we used to have our online sessions on Cisco. So they did not have any breaks or anything. Why we shifted over to Google was there were no breaks. Otherwise, every 45 minutes you had to re-enter. We still did it with Cisco and all, but it was getting too much of an issue. So that's why we stopped Cisco and we started off with this one, Google. Here there is no limit, right? So you can stay online.
There is also one more Google Classroom. There also there is no limit.
There is no limit, but this is easier to handle. So we are continuing.
I mean,
with
Classroom
this.
means it is chapter who has to register themselves, then they will
Correct.
get unlimited access.
Correct. So Zoom also many people are using as long as it is okay. Means if you have any kind of secret, this thing they are trying to go with Teams. Microsoft Teams are also good, but Microsoft Teams again is a little complicated when you have to use it. It's a lot of encryption. You must be a little more aware of the technicalities. What is that? Okay, so that is the reason why we have to be again very careful about the PAN utilizations, what is done by different clients also and about ourselves also. So significance of PAN in setting up of a business. So since we saw that what is the use of PAN number? So without PAN, no company can set up their business. In the absence of PAN, the government will charge about withholding tax, which can be more than 30% of the invoiced payments. So these are the things. This might come as a question. What is the significance of PAN for setting up of a business? It may come as a direct question, or this person did not have means this organization which was set up did not have a PAN number, did not apply for PAN, and the government is of an opinion that it has to penalize the organization. So what is the significance of not having a PAN number? Something like that. So here, without reference to if a person is now required to quote the PAN number, but if he does not do so, all the financial transactions, whatever has been carried out by that person will be invalid. That is also there. And if one is not required to pay the income tax, it is mandatory for him to hold the PAN number if he is earning money. Okay, then companies, regardless of registered, whether they are registered in India or abroad, they need to have a PAN number. What is there, and then it also helps for payment of invoices, remittances, etc. And also the tax registration number or the TRN, whomever is paying will be required to be had. And all this TRN can be obtained only when a company has a PAN number. So these are certain things which are required, or the significance of having a PAN number. The same way how we apply for PAN, the company also requires to apply for PAN number. So earlier we used to apply for it separately, but from 2020 onwards, 2020 onwards, we are applying to the PAN number of the company in the form of a form which is called as your Spice Plus. Okay, Spice Plus full form. We had discussed this in chapter 1.
Simplified pro forma incorporating the company electronically plus.
Yes. Simplified pro forma. Pro forma is the format. Simplified format, we can call it pro forma of incorporating companies electronically. At this only, what happens is, if you fill in this form, Spice Plus form, it is going to capture all the data and it will be sent to the income tax department and they will be issuing a PAN card. Just having your PAN number is more than sufficient. Even if you are, some of them, some time back, they had stopped issuing the PAN card, but now they have restarted it and they're giving it to the companies. So it will be printed like same as our PAN card. The PAN card for companies also will be in the similar structure. So they're going to give the PAN card to all those companies also. Now, permanent thing is a document. It is like a savings bank account or a debit card or a credit card. So you require, an individual has to fill in the form, what is given by the income tax department. So the form is 49A for resident individuals and 49 for your, if you are a, 49AA if you are a foreign individual. Okay, so application for new form will be in 49AA only. So this form will have to have the supporting documents, proof of ID and proof of address and the date of birth. Aadhaar is taken as the proof for address ID, whichever has got a photo is proof of identity. Proof of address is generally the DL like our friend was mentioning, or you have your passport that is also taken as proof of address. Then you have your ration card that is also taken as your proof of address, provided your name should be there. Your mobile bill, gas bill, whatever the utility bills, if they have your number, it can, if name, it will be taken as proof of address. So, but that thing should not be older than 2 months. Date of birth, your birth certificate or voter's ID, any of it will be proof of your date of birth. So this can be made online. Application for the form can be made online. Any request for any change or correction in the PAN can also be done. So that can also be done through internet. So you have this organizations called Bangalore One. In the Bangalore, in and around Bangalore, where you can go and get your PAN cards registered. Otherwise, many of the banks have also taken up this thing called registration of PAN, so that can also be going ahead. So new PAN applications in case of individuals and your HUF will have to be submitted through your NSDL portals, and then the application will also be will also have to be having a photograph of a stamp size, which will be of a colored photograph for PAN form. So offline applications, most of you, how many of you have got PAN card already? And what is the age for getting a PAN card? Should you be a major? In the sense, should you have majority age? Should you be 18 more to be getting a PAN card?
No, no.
What is the age for getting a PAN card? Anything like that?
Ma'am, means I'm having a PAN actually.
You don't have?
Means I told means I'm having the PAN.
Okay. So what I'm asking is, do you have to have a specific age limit to be getting a PAN card? First question.
Yes, ma'am. I think it's above 18 now.
Okay. How many say that? There is no limit for getting a PAN card. If you're below 18, what they do is they don't take your photograph and put it on the PAN card. Okay. Like, for example, you have child stars, no? Movies. Don't they pay income tax?
Yes.
They can be asked to pay directly. So PAN card is basically not for income tax purpose only. Like how you have Aadhaar, which is a card as a address proof. You have even small children, even school going kids having Aadhaar card. They can also have a PAN card. So what happens is, Likit is partially right here. So once you attain the age of 18, the number does not change, but your photo will be put on the PAN card after 18 years of age. Before 18, you will be having a PAN card in a similar way, only photo will not be there in the PAN card. So no, that way, even if a small child wants to get a PAN card, it can be given. So they can have it. The same way how the Aadhaar is taken, they'll have the PAN card also in the same way. So what is the procedure for getting the PAN card? So offline, you fill in a form, what is required to be filled, attach the stamp size photographs there, and 4 photographs is generally taken. 2, they will put it in the register. 2, they are going to affix it on the form. And then with all the details, correct details, and the proof of ID, proof of address, and proof of date of birth, all these copies will be submitted to the organization. They are going to send it to the government, where the government is going to verify the details, and if they accepted it, they will send it back with a PAN card within 15 days of application. Anytime between 15 days to 30 days, your PAN card should be reaching your homes. Okay, any corrections, whatever you want, make an application again for rectification of the errors, what is there, and then you can get the same thing rectified, and you will get the rectified copy of the PAN card in that way. So offline application, fill in the physical forms in Form 49A for resident individuals along with your copies. For online application, the online portal is www.utiitsl.com. So this is the one for site of PAN. Otherwise, also if you just go in with income tax thing also, there also you can apply for PAN. The charges for applying for PAN is 93 rupees excluding goods and service tax, that is GST. So, and also 864 rupees for foreign communication address. So once this is done, you will be getting your PAN card. Now, we require to link our PAN card as well as Aadhaar. This is for individuals only. A company cannot have Aadhaar card. It is because you require thumbprints. Okay, means you require your fingerprints. So a company does not have fingerprints, so there is no Aadhaar for companies. So you have to have the linking of Aadhaar and PAN, otherwise you will, it has become mandatory from 1st July 2017 onwards. If it is not linked, your tax will not be deducted. The income tax, the moment you enter your income tax details in the income tax site, it will not take it. So it will become a big issue. So please, even now, your phone number, your PAN number and your Aadhaar number, please make sure that they are all linked together. Then coming to the TAN, next one. This is your tax deduction and collection account number. So this is another important thing. This is there only for companies. What we have, the TAN number. PAN and TAN are extremely important. PAN is when you or I pay the tax. TAN is both for deducting it from somebody, collecting it and paying it to the government. So this is why TAN is important, because when I do a business, when a company does a business, it bills, it sends invoice to a lot of people and then it collects the money. It collects along with the tax. A part of the money what is collected by the companies may be the tax itself. So this has to be given to the government. So that is why they get another number which is called as the TAN number. This is also 10-digit alphanumerical number which has to be obtained by all the persons who are responsible for deducting or collecting the tax. So anybody, what is that? So if I am having a TDS, then I will have to have the TAN number. So whoever is liable, so who are the persons who have to be taking it? Whoever is liable to collect the tax at source. If a person required to deduct tax can use PAN in place of thing, then you don't require a TAN number. A person required to deduct tax under 194(1)(b) or 194(m) shall not be required to obtain the TDS, TAN number. So 194(1)(b), this was again inserted by the Finance Act 2007, whose books of account are not required to be audited under 44AB. What is all this 44AB, 194(1)(b)? I hope you have already gone through this. Can anyone say what is 194(1)(b)? You've done it? Not done it yet? 194? 44AB? Tax of business, income tax? Not it?
BMW GT 3 series 3.
Yes, no. Not sure. Not it? Okay. Write down these sections so you can check it out. 194, all these are TDS sections. TDS, tax deducted at source. So what are all the things that are coming under TDS will come under 194. Okay, so there are a list of things for which TDS are required to be collected and how much TDS to be collected and when it has to be deposited. So there are some 8 or 10 of it under 194. 44AB is the taxation of a setup which is a business organization. Okay, like companies will have it under different things. So here you are doing a P&L account. So 44AB is the one where your books are required to be audited So this is your section, and the rate at which you are able to should be deducting taxes at the rate of 5%. And if those people who are making payment of rent, and if the rent amount exceeds 50,000 per month, they are also required to deduct the tax. So different kinds of people are required to deduct tax at different levels. So all those people will be coming under section 194 of the Income Tax Act. Okay, so where you are required to deduct tax. So again, uh, for you to study this particular TDS well, this is a section which is coinciding with your income tax also. Please write 4 columns for this section 194. 194 alphabet, whatever it is, what is it for? Then the percentage of TDS to be collected, within what time it has to be what time it has to be deposited. 4 columns. Again, I repeat, the section, what is there? 194 1A, 194 194 1A, 194 1B, that way. Make a list of the sections. What is the section for what? Okay, means the purpose for which it is. Then the third one column. Yes, please.
It's actually the TDS on the dividend.
All of it are there. Means I'm telling you to for your tax easy comprehension. That's what means for your exam point of view.
And upon that, if you put
I was just asking you to make the chart, then make the things relating to what is it for, how much it has to be deducted, and what time frame within which it has to be deposited. And the 5th column is remarks, as always. Okay, so if you have this, again, one sheet, your TDS is sorted. So you don't have to worry. This may come for your, you may get around almost around 5-6 marks in income tax relating to only 194. So you can be prepared for it. Yes. So 194M, again at 5%, resident for contractual work, etc. Then 194 1D is the brokerage fees or by individuals or HUF, which has to not required to be audited under 44 AB. And if the total sum exceeds 50 lakhs only, then you require to have a TDS thing here. So relevance of TAN, so it is basically a tax deducted at source statement. So it is a tax collected at source statement. Now what is deducted at source and collected at source? So here TDS and TCS, not Tata Consultancies. TDS is before I pay somebody, I deduct the source. I deduct my tax and pay it. Say for example, you are appointed as a employee who is being paid an honorarium. You have been called upon to conduct a webinar at a corporate house. Okay, and they are going to pay you an honorarium. So this honorarium, what they should do, they should be deducting the tax and giving it to you. So any amount paid below more than 15,000, they need to deduct say 10% as TDS and pay the remaining to you. If they are paying 30,000 to you for conducting the webinar, they will deduct 10% and they will pay you 27,000, and 3,000 it will be shown as TDS. And this amount will be deposited by that corporate house with the government. So when you are paying the tax as an individual, you can claim that 3,000 back. The tax already paid, which you are claiming, you can be getting it back. So this is tax paid by you already. Instead of you paying it, somebody else would have paid it. And in case you have to get a refund, you can claim that TDS back from the government when you are paying your tax. Now, tax collected at source. So best example for tax collected at source is your parking lot. Okay. So parking fees, whatever is collected, how many now the parking everywhere has increased, right? Wherever you go, they are charging not less than 20 rupees, 30 rupees per hour, right? So now what happens is these people are required to pay the tax for doing whatever they are doing. So what they will do is they will collect the tax from you and then they will pay it to the government because you are paying them the money. They are not paying you the money. Got the difference between TDS and TCS?
Ma'am, can you just give a quick brief again, ma'am? Just got
TDS is when you are hiring somebody, you pay the money to them.
Okay.
Okay. So you deduct the tax for them and you pay them the salary or the honorarium.
Sure.
Okay. But in TCS, you are not paying, you are collecting from them. Collecting at them. So when you collect it, on their behalf, you have collected. Say, for example, you have collected the parking fee of 20 rupees. Okay, the tax component is 2 rupees. Okay, so 20 rupees you have taken from that customer who has kept the car there. So he has paid you 2 rupees. You will have to pay to the government on his behalf. Okay, collected is you are collecting the money, you are getting the money. Payment deduction is when you have paid the money to somebody else.
Sure.
Got the difference? Any doubts in this? Others?
Ma'am,
Any
in
doubts?
simple, TDS is the minus amount, and TDS is the plus amount, ma'am.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And both are required to be paid by you. One you collect and pay, one you deduct and pay. Okay. Any doubts, anybody here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, it's a financial transactions of the accounts and challans for both TDS and TCS certificates are to be paid. And also the provisions relating to TAN will not apply to a person deducting the tax under 194(1)(a). So basically this 194(1)(a) is for sale of land and building. So that will come under your capital gains, etc. So here you will not get TDS because the amount is huge. So here, how to apply for the TAN number. So the form is 49B for application of TAN number, and it has to be applied in duplicate forms, and it has to be submitted to any TIN facility or TIN FC under the NSDL. Oh, so the online form will be made on the website. Again, income tax website, you can make the online form. With regard to the companies, from 2020 February onwards, it can be made in form Spice Plus itself. So whatever data you're entering regarding the details of the company in the Spice Plus, it will get absorbed by it will be extracted by the income tax department from that Spice Plus application, and your TAN number and TAN certificate will also be issued to you from that particular setup only. So places from where you can get 49B, this may also be a question. So it may come for 3 marks. It is freely downloadable, number one. It is available at 10 FCs. Again, what we have. Legible photocopies can also be taken, means basically somebody has already downloaded. You can take a Xerox copy of the form 49B and take it and send it. So no separate TAN has to be filled for TDS or TCS. It is only a single form. What is there? So what are the requirements for TAN application? So no documents are required for TAN application. You just require to say that you are such and such an organization and you will be eligible for TDS and TCS. So you will be applying for that particular one. So you can track the status of your TAN application using the acknowledgement number as how we have. The fee is filing fee, TAN application plus GST, whatever may be the applicable one. So this is your thing relating to your fee. GST, this I think, have you started your indirect taxes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. GST you have studied in much more detail than what is here. Yes. So applying for GST, what is it, etc. So GST is a destination-based consumption of goods and services. So earlier it used to be, why is this destination-based? Is it better, or the one where you started, that is better? Is destination based better than your other kinds of tax?
Yes, ma'am.
Why
It's a
so?
destination based.
It's a destination based tax. You feel that destination based tax is a better option?
Yes, but one who consumes should pay the tax. That's the reason it's destination based.
Yes, one who is consuming, the place where it is consumed, it is better. So why this GST? They brought this revolutionary thought process of destination based tax. Now, for example, let us take Bangalore and let us take Sikkim. Okay. So earlier what used to happen, if Bangalore has produced the goods, okay, and say Karnataka has produced this toys, okay, wooden toys. So now it has produced the goods. Every single, whenever it is selling the goods, it is earning money that way itself, and it is getting the tax, everything, benefits, everything, whatever it is there, it was earning money, and Karnataka government was reaping the benefits because of this. Wherever you sell the goods which was produced in Karnataka, the Karnataka money would be coming to Karnataka government indirectly only. The person who is having his business in Karnataka would be getting the money, and in turn he would be paying the taxes to the Karnataka government for all this indirect taxes. Agreed with this?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, you are earning, and next of all, whenever you are selling, you are earning. So there were double, triple, 4 times the amount what you would be earning if you are a state where the goods were produced. But what would happen to those states? Like, for example, if the goods are manufactured, say, in Mumbai, and Karnataka was purchasing the goods. I am the one who is marketing your Mumbai goods. I am the one who is purchasing the goods. I am the one who is selling the goods everywhere in my place. But you are getting the benefit. That is, Mumbai is getting the benefit for all the efforts taken in Karnataka. So what are those people in Karnataka getting because of it? They set up the shops to sell Mumbai goods. They are marketing. They are telling that please buy these goods. But the benefit is received by Mumbai. So what was Karnataka getting?
ITC.
Nothing at all. No, at that time, earlier.
Earlier, okay.
Right? Not now, earlier. Okay. So they said that when Karnataka is putting the efforts to sell the goods, hold on to the goods, market the goods, they should also get the benefits. So that was what you are telling, Kusha. So this was the reason why this destination based GST has been introduced. So GST is a destination based tax, the place which is anyway, the person who is making the goods, the state where the goods are produced, they are getting the benefits already. So even the states which are selling the goods where it is destination should also be getting the benefits. So that is the reason the GST was made as destination based, so that the governments which are having the destination will be in a better position. So it was proposed to be levied at all stages, right from the manufacture to the final consumption, and it has to be paid on the basis of the credits as well as set-offs. So different types of GST, one nation, one tax regime, what was there? It is classified into 4 types. So you have the SGST, that is State Goods and Service Tax, then UGST or the Union Territory Goods and Service Tax, and then you have the CGST, that is the Central, and IGST, that is the Integrated Goods and Service Tax. So the state one is levied by the state government. Then the union territory is by the union. It's not union government. Please write it as union territory government. Union government is central government, so it will not come under this. So it is union territory. Okay. Then you have the CGST, which is there with regard to the central government, and IGST levied by the central government and shared between the state government and the central government. So what you have with regard to your transactions, which are on which SGST is levied. So all intra-state government goods and service transactions are coming under the SGST. Intra-union, again, SGST can be levied, depends upon where it is going. Intrastate goods and service transactions and intrastate goods and service transactions or import, whatever it is there, you're getting the SGST, which is being levied. So registration of business entity under GST, you get a unique number, which is called as the GST number. And this is mandatory and it has to be displayed on all your websites, as well as your billboard, as well as your bills. Everywhere you have to show your GST number if you want to claim your GST. So whatever tax is there, it has to be made sure that you're going to come under this. So now, which are all those countries or which are all those states which are required? Who are all those where the GST is applicable? So this, I think they have changed the one right here. It is 40 lakhs, right? Yes, GST.
Exceeds 20 lakhs.
No, your actual, I think they have amended.
Yes.
Just check it. Here it is. They see. Here only contradiction. It's right here.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
See, here on our material up and down only they have got. Northeastern states, I think it is 20 lakhs.
The threshold for registration for service providers is special category states.
Yeah.
But ma'am, in the last point, there is a confusion that I'm getting with special category states will have 10 lakh rupees threshold limit.
So there's those states will be mentioned by the government that these are special category.
And this 20 lakh.
When you're registering for them for their GST, we tell that they are in that special category ones.
And what exactly is the amount given here? So
40 lakhs. So any company, any organization which has a turnover which exceeds 40 lakhs. See, why should they give the older version when you have updated it? Right? This is why confusion happens. They should just cut it off. Put the latest one. Okay. So now I will give you the thing, leave this 10 lakhs one, cut it off here. Okay, I'll not go there. So Northeastern states, a definition of Northeastern states you can take here would include Arunachal Pradesh, etc. So Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, then Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura, and along with hilly areas of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So if any person's place of business is in the northeastern state, the turnover, if it is more than 10 lakhs, you will be compulsorily required to go in with a GST registration. But now this 10 lakhs has been enhanced to 20 lakhs. Okay. However, if any other company, like for example, I have an organization in Bangalore, I've set up a new organization, and if my turnover is not 40 lakhs, then I don't have to go in with GST registration at all. So in terms, there are different types where the GST registration is mandatory. So I will come to those registrations when GST registration becomes mandatory. In terms of turnover, if I do not exceed 40 lakhs, I don't have to register for GST. Earlier it was 20 lakhs, now it is 40 lakhs. Once I'm registered for GST, I'm always registered for GST. Okay, means I cannot withdraw unless I make an application and withdraw or close the business. But once I'm registered, I will always have to pay the GST. Now, what happens practically when I have, we have Sidharth here who has a business. Are you registered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what happens when you are registered for GST?
get a GST number assigned to the company,
Yes.
and you get a GST certificate that is used, and we continuously file the GST one.
You
Basically, the whole
continuously
process.
required to file the GST. Every month you have to file a return. How much you have earned, how much you have paid.
Yes.
That is mandatory.
Even if
If
you make no transaction, also you have to file a nil return.
Yes, you have to file a nil return. If you do not file a nil return, 10 rupees per day is the penalty. What you need to pay.
Yes.
10 rupees per day. And before 10th of every month, you require to file the GST returns
Yes.
monthly. Okay, this is first condition, which is a problematic condition. Okay, then penalty if you don't file. Then third, very important one, all your accounts get connected. All the money, whatever bank accounts you have, becomes linked to this. So you make any income, expense, whatever it is, it will get reflected here. And the government income tax department can pull out all your incomes and expenses. So you can't lie at all here.
Yes.
No secret money, everything visible. Transparency, too much of transparency, no place to hide. Okay.
I mean, recently, a couple last year during lockdown, we had a couple some funds. So I made it in an investment from the company side. That also they got track of it, and then
Correct.
that was there, and that was like ultimately I got that notice, and I told my audit team and like go and check it out. They checked, they immediately did that. Otherwise, we would have got into a penalty.
Correct, correct. So everything means we need to keep explaining to them for every single aspect, right? So whatever you do, you have to keep telling them, no, this is not that.
Even
This is
through the
not that.
company's PAN number, they pull out every report and they get to know
Every
where the
single
company has
thing.
done the investment and everything.
Correct. So this is one worst thing. It's like you keeping your wallet on the dining table and everybody seeing what is, everybody coming and checking your wallet, what is there. At times you feel, oh, why are you touching my wallet? It's mine. But everybody will touch because it's there on the table. So this is exactly what happens if you get registered with the GST. Sometimes you feel it is good, but sometimes you feel that why are they interfering in my affairs? Okay, so this is the one. If you are engaged in intrastate supplies for the threshold registrations, especially for the northeastern states, and there are certain people who are required to take compulsory registrations, and for all those companies who are the suppliers of ice cream and other eligible states, etc., the threshold continues to be for 20 lakhs in case of service providers and special category states, which will be mentioned by the government. These are special category states where the registration amount is 10 lakhs. So these are the things. So for all the ones, otherwise you have an aggregate of 20 lakhs, which was there earlier, and 40 lakhs is the aggregate for now. So aggregate turnover is for every single thing. Whatever aggregate is, you are not giving exemption for anything. All total turnover, whatever you have, you're adding up together. This definition may come for as a question. What does aggregate turnover mean? Aggregate turnover under the Act includes aggregate value of the following supplies of a person. So basically taxable supplies, exempt supplies, zero rated supplies, interstate supplies, but does not include inward taxable supplies or reverse under the reverse charge mechanism. So what is reverse charge mechanism? Have you done that?
Yes, ma'am.
RCM? Yes. What is reverse charge mechanism?
When the consumer pays the tax.
When the consumer pays the tax and the business benefits it?
What?
No, reverse charge, consumer pays the tax and your business, does it benefit from it? You are a organization, you are a company, and the consumer has paid the tax. So what is the benefit you are getting because of reverse charge mechanism?
Oh, yeah.
Are you getting any benefit?
Yes, I guess. Yes.
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 Yes. How so?
One is compliance part. You're not that headache will be reduced. You paying the tax because the consumer will pay the tax.
Okay.
And the other thing is the value which you will sell, you will add the tax and sell it to him. You will not reduce the ITC.
You will not reduce the ITC. Okay. Yes. Yes. What else? What do you think, others? What is reverse charge mechanism? What does the benefit which is got?
And mainly this happens when we import goods, man, because the other person who is exporting from there can't pay GST, right? So we'll pay GST.
Correct. So this one is basically when you are getting a inward taxable supplies, we go in with somebody else paying on your behalf. So you should be paying, somebody else is paying on your behalf. So your work to that extent is reduced. Will not say reduced, but at least you can claim that that person has already paid. It's like paying school fees. Your parents have paid, so you are getting educated. You can say that my parents are paying. I don't have to earn and pay that way. Okay, so if a person has taxable and exempt supplies as a part of the turnover, such as a machine oil, petrol, and turnover from both will be added and determined, and whether the aggregate exceeds the threshold, and if it does, then registration becomes mandatory for the supplier. So here basically you are to take all these things, whether it is there or not, you're going to add it up, and if the total exceeds 40 lakhs, you are mandatorily going to apply for a GST. So otherwise, if you do not apply for GST and your turnover has exceeded that, you will have to go in with lot of penalties and lot of litigations because your business, you have not complied with the provisions of the income tax. That is one thing. So taxable thing is most crucial for us. Then what are the different things relating to GST? So you have 15-digit identification code, what is required, what is there in your GST number. Your GSTIN number will have a 15-digit identification number, just like how the PAN number or the SIN number has got different values, different meanings for each one of the thing. Here also, first 2 digits of the number belongs to the state code, like KATN. That way, we have it in terms of alphabets. The state code, I think Karnataka is what, 24? I'm not sure. What is it? Sidharth, what is your number? 24, is it? Numbers will be given.
Yeah.
2, 4, 3, 1, that way. So each state will be given a code, and it is, I think, alphabetical. I don't know if Karnataka is the 24th state, or that depends on which number the state is given. Okay, that way. So the next 10 digit is the PAN number of the taxpayer, and the next 2 digits, that is 12 is done. For 13th and 14th digits is the entry code, and the last digit is the checksum number. So any number can be given there. So this will be the ones which will be the thing. Here again they have given the details. Whatever is taken. Registration is not tax specific, which means there is a single registration for all taxes. So this is the one which is given. So whether you are paying SGST or CGST or, yes, please.
The code is 29, ma'am. Karnataka code is 29.
Karnataka code is 29. Okay, fine. I'll check out what is the basis for these codes also. Which number is given for what. So Tamil Nadu will be given something else. So each one, union territories are also there. So there will be each one which will be given a different code number. So in PAN and SIN, it is a alphabet. KA for Karnataka, TN for Tamil Nadu, just like how we get for vehicles, the same way. But in GST, the numbers are given. 29 is for Karnataka. Okay. So here again, the given PAN is a legal entity and it will have one GSTI per state. So how many GSTs can I do? Can I do only one, or should I take a GST for every state where I have an organization? Like for example, Reliance. Okay, Reliance Trends, we'll keep it Reliance. It has got in Bangalore, it has got in Maharashtra, it has got in all places. So how many GSTs can they be taken by Mukesh Ambani? One is enough, or everywhere I require to take?
One is enough.
One is enough?
Yes, only one also they'll give.
Only one also they'll give. I can do as many businesses as I want. And in case I have got the registration, I want to get the GST registered in of Karnataka to be registered in Tamil Nadu. Can I do it? My very close friend is there staying in Tamil Nadu, and I am a GST consultant here, or you are a GST consultant here. Can you register his GST here in Karnataka? Why not? No, not the place, vagera. Just help him out getting a GST registration.
That can be done, ma'am.
That can be done because it's an online service. I can incorporate a company anywhere, in any place. Okay, if it's got a registered office here, because all of it is online. When it is online, I don't have to worry about where I have to sit and get it registered. Only when there is a physical thing, I may have to go to that particular ROC or a particular setup and do it. But if it is an online one, I require to go, and if it's an online, I can be getting it anywhere. So I can have a single registration, but I can also have multiple registration or additional place of business can be done. In case of different verticals, I may have to register the verticals when I am doing the business, because we are going to enter the objects code also here. What all business I have to take it, I can take it by declaring the objects what I have in my businesses. So that is where the GST IN number also will be coming into place. So if my business, if I am expanding my business, if that is not included in my main objects, then I will have to take up different GST IN number. So this is my thing. So, for example, within a state, an entity with different branches would have a single registration wherein it can declare one place as principal place of business and other branches as additional place. However, a business entity having different or separate business verticals in a state may obtain separate registrations for each business vertical. So here, Reliance example what I gave. If the petroleum business has to be done pan-India, only one GST registration permitted. If Reliance is doing Reliance Trends, Reliance Food, Reliance Petroleum, then they can get registrations for under 3 different verticals. So that can also be taken up. So it depends on whatever the company has registered with. More tax, more thing for the company. It's more for the government itself. Now, the next crucial question is relating to the compulsory registration, which is required to be taken. So this is very, very important. You will get a question on this. I'll change the color. Okay. So when should a organization get a mandatory registration of GST? So if in these following cases, the mandatory, irrespective of your turnover, I may be earning only 10 lakhs as my turnover, but my registration for GST is mandatory. So what are the circumstances for a supplier who makes interstate supplies? So I am a supplier supplying between Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. So at such times, whether my turnover is 1 lakh or 10 crores, whatever it may be, irrespective of the aggregate turnover, my registration is mandatory. Without it, I cannot do interstate supplies. Then casual taxable person. So he is not having a regular business. Once in time, I just sell my goods and I know I make some money. That person also is required to do a GST registration. Why so? Also, I'll come to this. Non-taxable. non-resident taxable person. So non-resident taxable in the sense it's an NRI who is taxable, but this person also, if he wants to do any kind of business, he is required to have a GST registration. I'll come for this also. E-commerce operators. So for example, Amazon, I have Flipkart, then I have any online sale which is required to be done. If I am a small time manufacturer, or I am making some say soaps and what you call masala at home, and I want to sell it online. If I want to sell it online, that means I have to have a GST registration. If Amazon has to purchase from me, I must be having a GST registration. Otherwise, Amazon won't be purchasing from me. If I want to sell it to Amazon, through Amazon, both times I require to have a GST registration. Then persons discharging liabilities under the reverse charge mechanisms are required to have it. So now coming to these two people, these two persons, casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person. These are unidentifiable ones. So if you look at it, they are the people who come now and disappear. Okay, at one time suddenly these are those ones who are there once in a blue moon. You suddenly see that, oh, there has been a shop, they have set up a huge sale, melas or sante, what you know. So they come there, they sit in that place, they sell their goods, and then they are gone after this. That circus also used to happen like that only, no? They come, they set up the thing for 1 month, they are there, and then they go away. So after that, you don't know who they are, where they went, and anything like that. So casual persons are also there like that only. They set up a stall or something like that. They come, sell and go. Or you have the non-taxable, non-resident taxable person. Once in a way, they come, they set up, they sell their goods and go. So how will you identify these people? So in order to get some hold on them, GST is required. Through GST, you can find out where they are registered and all the money. In case they have cheated you, you can even put a claim and get back the money. So in order to identify those people so that they don't cheat others, this GST has been implemented on those ones. They have to have a mandatory GSTIN. So identification number is required. So who are the persons who are not liable to register? So coming to those persons who are not liable to register, so we are going to, the following persons are not liable to register. If I am with goods, specifically supply of goods or services which are not liable to tax and which are wholly exempt from tax, which are producer companies, that is basically farmer. If I am producing from land cultivation or specified categories as has been notified by the government, these people are not liable to register for the GST. So the process is with regard to the portal maintained by the GST. So any of you can be a GST consultant if you want to be. So you can just register for that GST thing. You have a short course if you want to do. ICSI also has that course, crash course, which is there probably for 1 month or something like that, where you can just go through the course and you can be registered as a GST practitioner. You don't have to have any pre-qualifications to be a GST practitioner. So you have the portal, which is www.gst.gov.in. So here you are going to put in the details regarding the person or the organization which wants to be registered under the GST. So basically the PAN, mobile number, email address, and this is the part A of the GST form. And in case it is a company which is newly being incorporated, the Spice Plus form has all these details which you will be filling it. Then the PAN will get verified in the GST portal. Mobile and email will get the OTPs which will be filled in. And once this is there, you go in with the GST part 2. Part B will have GST REG 01, which will specify the application reference number. And here you will be attaching the details, whatever is required. So Aadhaar card copies, then PAN card copies, all those things will be the ones which will be supplied here. the authentication will go in, and then you will attach the DSC which is also required to be filled in. So the GST 03 will be issued in addition to with the additional information, and form GST REG 04 registration 04 will be required to be filled in, and within 7 days of the working of on the date of receipt of GST registration form 03, you will have to fill the 04 application form and send it. So all the information, whatever is given in form GST 01, REG 01 and REG 04 are required to be in accurate, and also the information or the registration certificate will be issued in the form GST 06. So this is for the principal place of business as well as individual place of business. If it is rejected, the form, if it is accepted, you will get a certificate in form GST 06. If it is rejected, you will get a rejection letter in the form 05, REG 05. And if the complete information has not been provided, the applicant who is required to collect or deduct TDS or collect TCS will submit an application in form 07. Again, the registration will be given in form GST 06. Okay. The same thing has been mentioned here in the form of words. Eligibility. You can see the eligibility. Composition schemes. Now, what is a composite scheme? Here again, composite scheme is a scheme wherein you don't have to register you don't have to do monthly returns. You do quarterly or half yearly returns. It is more than sufficient. But again, many of the organizations are going in for composite scheme. But if you want to convert yourself into a regular scheme, it is a very difficult process. So it has its own complications. So best is to, from our practical thing, what we say is, instead of going in for composite scheme, you go in for a regular scheme. You may have to end up hiring somebody to be filing your GST returns every month. But at least it is better than going in for composite scheme and getting stuck there. So, but many of them are feeling that a composite scheme is a better option. So here turnover eligibility is rupees 50 crores for Northeastern region, and up to 75 crores you can go in with the composite scheme. Then here eligibility conditions is it deals only with intrastate goods or services, does not supply goods not liable for tax. Even with regard to reverse charge mechanism, he will not be coming under the composition, means no GST registration required, not supplying through e-commerce operator, or not manufacturing any of these ice cream, pan, masala. Only these people. So basically where exemption is permitted, you are not in any of those categories, you will be able to go in for composite scheme, composition scheme. So, and also this scheme, the percentage of his or her turnover without the benefit of input tax credit, the flow rate of GST shall not be less than 1%. This is the one. Process for the thing is similar to that of your GST. So your fresh registration will have to be taken under REG1. That is the form what is there. So the definition of non-resident taxable person, and also the things what is there, we have discussed it. So I will just move on to the ones what I have not spoken about. Suo motu registration means by yourself. Suo motu is by myself or by yourself, means self. Okay, so you can ask for registration of GST under that thing. So I find that my thing is more, I can do it on my own without the government asking me why you have not registered for GST. Casual taxable person, I've just given the description. So additional place of business, principal place of business is like the registered office. Additional place of business is my branch office. That is the definitions what we have. Okay. So coming under the third registration, very important one is the Shops and Establishment Act. That is Shops and Establishment Registrations, what is required. So the purpose of shops and registrations, earlier this was one of the basic registrations. Every single, we say that no, every single shop, when we say shop, the first thing what comes to our mind is a grocery shop or a stationery shop. Shopkeeper. So they are, yes, please.
The supermarket, the shop.
Correct. Even smaller than that, bakery, all those small ones. Yes. Now everything is big size. So they are the smallest shops what we remember. So these things had to be registered as business establishments earlier. That's why it's called as shops and establishments. So having, there used to be many shops which were doing the business and without any registrations. Today they have established, tomorrow they would not be paying the rent. They would simply close and go away and establish somewhere else. So in order to regulate the affairs of these shops, the Shops and Establishment Act was brought in. So business centers, offices, warehouses, stores, hotels, eateries, amusement parks, theaters, etc. All these are coming under the Shops and Establishments Act. So applicable on all commercial ones where this is there, it is coming there. It is one of the most important regulations which has been complied. So basically they are to regulate the wages, payments, hours of work, leave, salary, etc., which are there for the workers. So that is why the Shops and Establishment has been established. So all the shops and establishments, so we have the shop, which means whether goods are sold either by retail or wholesale, services are rendered to the customers. So both of them are coming under the category, and includes some of the times even our offices also, CA, CS and all those things also can be registered under the shops and establishments. So it is not mandatory for us. If you are not paying salary, no registration required. Okay, so here includes an office, a storeroom, godown, warehouse or a workplace, whether on the same premises or otherwise used in connection with trade or business. A shop, however, does not include a factory or a commercial establishment. So commercial establishment where any trade, business or profession or work is undertaken, and will also not include a charitable society, charitable trust or a printing establishment, journalist, auditor establishments was brought out of commercial establishments. So commercial establishment has included auditor establishments. So we were earlier coming under the service office, what was there. So now they have brought it under our commercial establishment. So this will not be including our, it will not be included for shops and establishment, educational institutes, etc. So this is your commercial establishments. So you may get a definition from this commercial establishment or a shop as a question. Establishments defined are as a shop, commercial establishment, residential hotel, restaurant, eating house, theater, or other places of public amusement or entertainment. Establishments as defined under the Act may also include such other establishments as has been mentioned. So these are the currently explained establishments, but the Act, government may say this is also can be included as establishments. Okay. So anything which is factory related will not be included here. So what are the things which are required? So if I am coming under this category, I will have to get, so if I'm coming under this first category of what is a shop, okay, I will be required to get a license under the Shops and Establishment Act of 1948. So what are all the things which are there? So this shop and establishment commences operation must apply to the chief inspector for a shop and establishment license within the prescribed time. So my application should be addressed to the chief inspector. So I will be giving it in a particular form. I will be talking about the name of the employer, that is who is the owner of that particular establishment, then address of the establishment, name of the establishment, category, whether it is service, manufacturing, whatever may be the category, hotel. So what is the thing? Number of employees which are engaged in that, and any other particular relevant details as is required. On the submission of this application to the chief inspector, the chief inspector, sometimes in Mumbai it was mandatory that under the shops and establishment they had to conduct a physical verification whether the shop is there or not. But now you do not have that, but no physical verification is required, but otherwise also you can just check out if it is there. Why they are talking about physical verification is we give the address and that place is not there in that place. So physical verification makes it serious business. So that is why verification has to be taken. We submit an application in the prescribed form, and within 30 days of starting any work, this has to be submitted along with all the details, what is there, postal establishment. On receiving the application and the fees, the inspector will verify the accuracy and correctness of the application. If it is satisfied, he will issue a certificate which is valid for 5 years, and it can be renewed for next 5 years, whatever is there. And only the labor department, the ILD, what we have is authorized to give the registration process. Most of the times 100% online process has also been given for us. So these are required with regard to your definitions. Okay, the next ones we will take it up in the next class. Next week I will take extra sessions. Sorry, I was not able to take the session on Thursday. I lost my grandmother, so I was not able to do it. So today also I just managed. Tomorrow will not have. Next week sometime we will make up for all the lost classes. So 3-4 classes if I get next week sometime, I will definitely take it up. Okay. And next Sunday onwards, we will have regular Sunday classes. 2 Sundays I should be able to take and be done.
That means the next Sunday, can you take actually?
Yeah, next Sunday I will take. This Sunday I am not taking. What is next Sunday?
10:30.
Oh, next Sunday I may not be able to take.
Why?
This Sunday, tomorrow I'll know. Next Sunday, that's what I told, no? Lost. It will be our...
tomorrow it will be 16. Next Sunday it will be 23rd.
23rd I may not be able to take. I'll let you know.
Sure.
Not sure. Okay. 30th and all. I want to take it during the week so that I will not disturb you on Sundays. So let me see.
No problem.
Okay. Next week I will be able to take all the days if required also. So if I'm getting it, I will take it off. Okay. So, yes, please.
One small doubt, like you were giving example of that Karnataka selling wooden toys, right?
Yes, correct.
In that, the advantage now is that it can claim ITC, but ITC, what they claim also is what they've already paid, right?
Correct.
So
earlier they were not even getting that, no?
Before, okay. Only that is there, right? Other than that, no advantage.
No, even the state which is selling, they will earn also. They will pay to their own government. They don't have to pay to Karnataka. Karnataka will be getting what they were getting. So there is an incentive even for the destination state to be earning. Earlier, they would not be getting anything.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am. Ma'am, I had a doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, it's regarding the strike off. Ma'am, can you tell me like the difference between STK 5 and STK 5A?
Okay. You tell what you have understood. I will explain.
Ma'am, STK 5 is basically the public notice that is issued by the ROC. And and it says that it should be published in the newspaper.
Yes.
Yeah, and then in the third point it says found by STK 5A in English language in a leading newspaper. So like when I read
full F5A, you tell me.
Okay.
There's a very subtle difference. I'll tell you.
Okay, so the point 3 says published in form number STK 5A in English language in a leading newspaper. and at least once at least once in vernacular language in leading vernacular language paper, both having wide circulation in the state in which the registered office of the company is situated.
Who publishes 5A?
Ma'am, are you asking who publishes 5A?
Yes.
I think the ROC.
Sure.
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So that is what is the difference.
Ma'am, so ROC publishes 5A.
5 is published by ROC.
And 5A is published by the company.
5A is published by the company.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, I'll give you the difference also here. So because very subtle difference between 5 and 5A what we have. So STK 5, whenever we are talking, that is mostly taken there. Once again, I will give you the full difference between those two.
Means, can you give the questionnaire, ma'am, actually?
Yeah, questionnaire I had shared, no? All of it?
Wait, let me see.
Okay, I will share it again. You want me to share again?
Ma'am, I think last time you posted 9, but I will share it to you.
Okay.
No, I have. Okay, yeah. Okay. Once again, I'm trying to get the forms itself. That's why. They've just amended the form. Okay, so here what I'll share the forms also on the group itself. So what happens in this thing is when you have STK 5, okay, that is the notice by the ROC which is given on a public domain, whether it is in vernacular language or English language otherwise. 5A is for companies which have incorporated but they have not commenced their business within 1 year. Got the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
5A is for newly incorporated companies which have not commenced their business, and 5 is for those companies which are already existing and they have not continued operation. They have stopped their operations anytime when the strike means for 2 years. They have not done it. That is the difference. Both the things are public thing. Both the things are by ROC, and both the things have to be given on the newspaper and in vernacular language for that 30-day period of time. And both the forms require an objection if there is any from any of the regulators or anybody to be given to them. Only thing is, one is 5A is for newly incorporated companies not having started their business within 1 year, and 5 is for rest of the organizations.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll share both the forms with you, so you will see the difference in what it is, 5 and 5A. Okay, I'll download and I'll share it with you. Yes. Any other queries? Anything else? So next week, anytime you don't have class, will you please share the information so I will be able to take the class?
If any update, I will share it to you.
Yeah. So yesterday also, again, I think yesterday, day before, both I could have taken, but I was involved in the thing. So.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this other authentication as well as physical verification center different.
Which one?
Other Authentication and the physical verification, is both are different?
Yes, Aadhaar verification is whether your Aadhaar card is right or not.
No, other authentication.
Authentication, yes. Physical verification is they'll come to the place and check.
Which have you submitted the address and everything, no?
Yes, the place where you have submitted, whether it is actually there or not. Other authentication is they may not come to the place. They will be sitting there only and checking whether your Aadhaar is right, PAN is right, and all those things that way. Whether your documents is complete, that thing, they'll sit and do it there. Physical verification, they will actually come to the place which you have shown and they are going to verify. The paper which will help other papers, so that because there are all these chapters have got small questions, they're all basic questions. What is coming, you don't have to write sections or something like that in at least part B and part C, everything. You just have to have the concepts, and most of the things are understanding based, concept based. So they're not looking at the language, they're not looking at your grammar, and also they only want you to know the basic things more than anything else. So that way you will be able to score quite well if you are just concentrating on the topics. And most of the times the questions get repeated in this thing. We know if you go through the question paper, you are able to gauge, okay, one question is coming from this, one question is coming from this topic. So you are sure of it yourself. Almost up to 50% of the questions you are definite by the time you go to your exams. Okay, so 50% means you're already confident, you've passed exam. So the remaining one you will be able to write better. Okay. Yes. So try a paper or two, couple of papers or two, and see that time is one thing what you have to keep in mind when you're doing SPSC. Okay, because there are lots of questions coming from company law paper, which is here. Like for example, forms. Which forms are there? Last two times, that is your June exam and December exams, they have almost asked the 10 marks coming from forms itself, and that too the forms are in your company law paper. You have that typing chapter 9 or 10, which is talking about records and transparency and registers and all those. There you have that list of forms what are used. So they had asked MGT 14, that kind of a thing. What is it used for? What is the dates to be filed? That type of questions they have asked here also. So many times what happens, so when this paper is third, okay. So when you're doing company law, don't think that it will be here or there. So there are certain questions which are, I will also talk about it when we do the chapter. There are certain questions which you will have to read from company law and be prepared to answer it in SPSC. Okay, so that thing also you should not get bogged down that, oh, this question I don't think it is there in SBC. It will be there in company. Okay, so we will do a few question answer rounds also. So then you will be able to check out how to write the answers and how to look into the papers, etc. So you will be able to